Hi guys, Super Cameraman here. Quite by chance in the internet appeared a lot of leaked shots from the latest episodes, and if you look carefully, there will be leaks from the 78th episode. I think these shots are from the 78th episode, because in the file, there were leaks from the 77th episode. And if we take into account the fact that Mr. Boom and his team, apart from the 25th season, created the 78th episode in parallel, we can assume that these shots are from the 78th episode. Besides, we didn't see these moments in the 25th season. In fact, Season 25 showed a lot of useful information that reveals some of the characters. For example, did you notice this hidden reference of the Skibidi Toilet store figurines right here? Most likely, yes. But what about this scene? Did you notice anything about it? If you slow down this video, you can see the secret agent's sinister smile at this point. If you've watched my previous analysis, you should know why he smiled like that. The point is that arresting Lucky Cameraman is part of the secret agent's plan, and this video was specifically recorded to eliminate the Skibidi scientist with the help of the agents. Speaking of extra scenes, as you remember, Boom promised us 7 extra scenes, but unfortunately, we only saw 4. Where did the 3 scenes go? I also solved the mystery that no one could think of. I found out what technology stole Skibidi toilets from the secret agent and more. Today we're going to try to figure it all out, and if you like this video, I'll be very grateful. Alright, here we go. Aside from the extra scenes, Defook almost completely changed episode 75, improving the graphics and redesigning some of the characters. These changes didn't affect the plot, so let's move on to the extra scenes. The first scene begins with Camerawoman's flashbacks. As they were trying to repair her right arm, she suddenly hears voices and sees Dave. He informs her that she was unconscious and that something strange is going on at the base. Dave says it's time for them to leave. From the dialogue, it becomes clear that because of the big experiment we saw in the flashbacks of Part 1 of 73, the entire system has been rebooted. This has had terrible consequences, and everyone on the base has either escaped or gotten into trouble. Dave asks Ketty to leave while he saves the others, and at the end, we see a reference to episode 50 when Plunger Man went solo on the Skibidi of the toilets. It's not clear yet what caused the emergency, but there are 2 possibilities, either because of a failed experiment or an attack by the toilet Skibidi, but I still think it's the second option, as we can see signs of a confrontation here. Then the tape cuts off abruptly, and we see Plungerman being carried on a couch, followed by Detective Cameraman. Plungerman has attempted to implant the same device that was used on Lucky Cameraman, a memory reader, but they have failed, and it's all because of the secret agent's intervention, as Plungerman first lit up with green sparks, and then caught fire along with the device, and an error popped up on one of the panels. In fact, if you watched my analysis of the Fortnite and Skibidi Toilet collaboration trailer, you'd notice a continuation of that storyline in that scene. Click here to watch the full analysis, or I will now summarize what the trailer was about. There, we saw the secret agent's office and even his position. Also, we saw the secret agent wake Plungerman up and tell him he's still alive. And all of this happens from Plungerman's point of view. Next, the camera is turned on. After the secret agent scans Plungerman and says you won't see your comrades for now unless you do something for me. This scene shows that Plungerman can be brought back into action because that's what the Cameraman base wanted to try, but the secret agent prevented them. The next shot shows Titan TV Man and Speaker Man at the Speaker Man base, after which they are apparently teleported to the Speaker Man base, since they got here immediately after teleporting from episode 74. The scene changes again, but now to a location from episode 75, where one of the Astro toilets kills the Cameraman. Episode 75 was completely changed. If you want a more detailed look at all the changes, there is a separate video on the channel with all the comparisons. After the events of episode 75, we are transported to one of the bases, where an Alpha Hills employee tells us that her sister, that is, the hybrid woman, went to a special forces unit and disappeared. She doesn't know if she's still alive. One of the cameramen shows a barker while the other cooks a meal, but apparently does it poorly. Even one of the survivors says the food doesn't smell good, specifically saying the food smells like shit. This was most likely a reference to episode 4, when the people in the restaurant were presented with shit. The survivor refuses to eat that food, causing the cook to take offense and throw his food on the floor. And the food turned out bad because Cameraman has banal lack of receptors and can't physically cook tasty food. Besides, they don't need it, as they don't need food. They feed on blue energy. Next, The cameraman turns around, and we see a man with a plunger coming out of the restroom. This same plunger is picked up a little later by one of the plungermen, staring at it intently, remembering the plunger man. This scene shows that people still don't realize the seriousness of the situation and don't even know about Plunger Man's heroic deeds. After all, the phrase, "It's just a plunger," speaks volumes, and this is where you can notice the figures from the Defukbum store. Then we are shown a continuation of the room, and at this point we could see a cameraman of a janitor, most likely a reference to the fan art. Suddenly, a TV men scientist teleports in, and after attaching an anti-revolution device to his ear, he asks, "Are there any Alpha Hills employees here?" Turns out this scientist was involved, and it's true, because we saw the scientist's likeness on a poster in the second part of episode 70. When the scientist was about to approach, Detective Cameraman intervenes in the conversation and asks the scientist to go with him for questioning, and because of that, the TV scientist almost clashes with the detective. This is when the agents notice one of the infected people who has come to offer a truce between Skibidi Toilets and the Alliance. The next scene begins in a location reminiscent of the one in Season 22. First, we are shown a fight between the Skibidi Toilets and the agents, after which one of the Skibidi Toilets attacks Lucky Cameraman. In the original version, we saw a random face, but in the troll flick that everyone already knows about, Nemi appears, who also gets a powerful punch from a secret agent. Next, we're shown a scene already familiar from the shorts version, where the secret agent hands Lucky Cameraman the remote and notes that the Skibidi WC leaders have borrowed his technology. It's actually a very interesting and mysterious scene, and it's also very similar to a scene from episode 65. If you watched the analysis of this episode, then you know that at this point, Skibidi Toilets purposely did not destroy the Lucky Cameraman to show this scene to the Alliance. In fact, in this extra scene, the secret agent also set things up so that this footage would be viewed by a detective in the future. It's not really clear what his intentions are, but the fact that it's a special tape is 100%. First of all, the secret agent is a very bad actor.
I'm angry. My anger is immeasurable.
And secondly, when Lucky Cameraman lowered his head, you could see the secret agent's real face at that moment. I think the secret agent at that moment was just using the Alliance for his own purposes, namely to eliminate the Skibidi scientist by the hands of the Alliance. We are then transported to the interrogation room, where no changes have been made. The last scene we are shown is the continuation of Astro Juggernaut's pursuit of G-Man. It starts with a fight that was supposed to take place between the two, with the Juggernaut offering G-Man to surrender with honor. G-Man, however, replies that he will not fight his old friend with whom they used to conquer lands together. At first, G-Man tolerates Juggernaut's blows and offers to join his team, but Juggernaut, embittered by the death of his child, seeks revenge. At this point, G-Man becomes enraged, knocks Juggernaut to the ground, and tells him that he has no choice. After all, he will always be just a pawn to the Astro Toilets. Juggernaut informs him that one of the Titans is under the control of the Astro Toilets, and their next target is G-Man. In response, G-Man states that some sort of secret weapon is being prepared that will do significant damage to the Astro Toilets, and promises Juggernaut that if he joins his squad, no one close to him will ever be harmed again. In turn, G-Man uses invisibility and escapes the battlefield. Most likely, this is what the secret agent was referring to when he said that Skibidi Toilets stole the technology from him. After all, for the first time we learned about invisibility in the second part of the 70th episode, when the secret agent helped the agents. It turns out that because of the betrayal, the secret agent decided to get rid of the Skibidi scientist. After a few seconds, the UFO toilet appears and asks where G-Man is. The Juggernaut replies that the commander escaped, referring to G-Man's ex-name, but the UFO toilet states that the commander is him and that the Juggernaut has failed him twice. UFO toilet adds that Juggernaut's next mistake will be his last, as it was with G-Man in episode 60, because then UFO almost destroyed G-Man because of a similar situation. After this dialogue, the Astro Toilets start destroying the neighborhood, injuring the cameraman as a result. The most interesting thing is that the chair and ficus are one and the same, and underneath these guises is a woman who looks very much like a secret agent. In fact, so far it is 100% impossible to say that this is a new character. I think it's just a secret agent in disguise, as we should not forget that a detective is looking for him. But also, you can't disprove the theory that this is a new character who works for a secret agent. If that's the case, then it turns out the secret agent is not alone, and he also has a race with similar abilities as him. But I still don't think that's the case. What do you think? Write your thoughts in the comments. Then at this point, she swipes her card at the operator, causing him to have a data error and be transported to another location. The screen reads, "Welcome to the family." A similar scene was shown in episode 47, when, after the operator died, a secret agent came to him and disabled him as well. Now let's talk about some hidden details and assume the plot of episode 78. The first detail appears at the moment of episode 75, where the number 1K34 is seen on the tablet, which strongly resembles the company IKEA. Perhaps this is a reference to his yellow shirt, since the IKEA logo is in the same shade. The second detail appears when the Juggernaut appears in episode 75, when his baby reaches out to him and shows signs of life. The third detail comes at the moment of Juggernaut and G-Man's conflict, when you can see the silhouette of a person on the tower, apparently the same woman we saw at the end of the extra scene. There were actually many more small details, but we'll talk about that next time. As a final note, let's assume the plot of episode 78. First of all, Dafook now has a team, which means that episode 78 will most likely be released this month. Also, we will definitely be shown the Speakerman base and their armada, because Mr. Boom has no sense to postpone their appearance, especially since their help will be crucial in the fight against the Astro toilets, who are increasingly focused on destroying Earth. I also think Dafook will emphasize the Juggernaut and the interactions between the Astro toilets. If Juggernaut does join G-Man's team, it's unlikely he'll immediately start attacking his allies. Otherwise, he won't be able to provide important information, and his death will be pointless. It's much more interesting to see him in a spy role, as he has access to Astro toilet technology and a lot of secrets we may just be starting to uncover. I think we'll be shown at least some of his plans in episode 78. So probably first, we will be shown the Speakerman Armada in action, and then the storyline with Juggernaut and the Alliance in general will continue. Either way, Season 25 lived up to our expectations, and I'm sure many of you were satisfied, even though we waited a long time for it. Well, assuming that these spoilers are from episode 78, there we will see something related to Speakerman 2.0, we will see a G-Squad, an enhanced cameraman, and some strange shoes in a new location. Still, we shouldn't forget that episode 78 isn't on Dafook Boom's list of epic episodes. As we remember, the next epic episode after 77 will be episode 80. And if you have watched the video up to this point, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That way we will know how many of us there are. And here's the super cameraman. Good luck, everybody. Bye.